Chapter 4562. The little fairy was omnipotent. Yang Chun Baeksu's face immediately turned even redder. Even though she did not see it, she somehow knew that the little chubby girl in the portrait was her. Could it be that he had really kept her in his heart all along? Even though she did not have any feelings for Lang Mofeng, but knowing that a person would always be thinking of her silently, her heart still throbbed a little. When she thought about the pastries, she was a little absent-minded. He Shinjio saw the look on Yang Chun Baeksu's face and made a rough guess, and he could tell that little Meme was a little moved. But that was true. Ever since little Meme's parents had passed away, no one had ever cared about her, let alone that Lang Mofeng, who was so talented and had such deep feelings for her. Buttface blinked his doggy eyes and saw some of it as well, and continued to say, I also heard little Feng talking to himself, saying that as long as she was happy, he should not disturb her life or anything like that. Little Horn, I don't want to say too much, but little Feng is absolutely infatuated with you. If it weren't for the fact that he had to go into seclusion to break through, he would have confessed to you long ago. However, your sheep horn is a problem. I'm really worried about little Feng. You must be careful when you kiss and kiss. Yang Chun Baishue was embarrassed and angry, but she didn't dare to do anything to Buttface. Her eyes were red and she was about to cry. Buttface said embarrassedly, I didn't say anything. Why are you crying? Your horns are already in the way. He Shinjio felt that what Buttface said made sense. How did the sheep and deer race kiss? Weren't their horns in the way? The shameless pair looked at each other and saw the intense gossiping light in each other's eyes. In order to ease the awkward atmosphere, He Shinjio said to Yang Chun Baishue, Little Meme, don't lower yourself to Buttface's level. Let's have a good talk. Seeing Yun Chujia's serious expression, Yang Chun Baishue wiped her tears with a handkerchief and said, What do you want to say? Little Meme, tell me the truth. If Lang Mofeng really has a deep affection for you, what do you think about marrying him? Yang Chun Baeksu's face turned red once again. Why was this good-for-nothing puppet of hers so fixated on this question? She said hesitantly, I don't know. Yun Chujio rolled her eyes. Alright, I know what you mean. In any case, you don't have any objections. Now, erase the problem. This is not the worst part. The worst part is that the news of the Demon Sky Clock will spread to the Western continent sooner or later, and your identity will be completely exposed. At that time, the second prince will not be able to protect you. Unless you hand over the Demon Sky Clock, but now that the Demon Sky Clock has become like this, who will believe it? Therefore, once the matter is exposed, you will die without a doubt, and you will implicate the second prince. Yang Chun Baeksu's face immediately turned pale. Yes, she had forgotten about the Demon Sky Bell. If it weren't for the Demon Sky Bell, she might still be able to survive. However, once the Emperor of the Western Continent found out about the Demon Sky Bell, even the second prince wouldn't be able to protect her. Although Buttface didn't understand all of Yun Chujia's lip language, he could roughly guess the situation when he saw Yang Chun Baeksu's expression. He said obsequiously, Little Horn, you don't have to worry. As long as the little fairy is here, there's no problem that can't be solved. The little fairy is omnipotent. Chapter 4563. Hurry up and save the puppy. He Shinjio gave Buttface a look of praise. It had to be said that this dumbass did not have any other skills, but his tongue was getting sharper and sharper. Who did he learn it from? Yang Chun Baishue did not have the time to correct Buttface for calling her Little Horn. Anyway, Little Meme was not much better than this title. Little Gio, hurry up and tell us what we need to do to survive. Even if we can't survive, we shouldn't implicate him, Yang Chun Baishue said anxiously. Hey Shinjio, was he trying to turn the tables just like that? The most important thing right now is for you to meet the second prince first. I want to see if he is someone who can do great things before making any plans. However, he must have some tricks up his sleeve to be able to eat, drink, and have fun while being hunted by the poor little girl. Yun Chujio touched her chin and said. Dog 2 came over and said, Little fairy, you are really smart. Little Feng has his own forces. I have seen people report things to him, such as the hidden spies in the palace or the spies in the crown prince's mansion. Later, when I was able to form a physical body and someone reported things to him, he kicked me out. Yun Chujia's eyes lit up. This second prince was indeed an ambitious person. He was both ambitious and nostalgic. He was really a good choice. Yun Chujiao asked Yang Chun Baishue to call Ji Hua and Ru Hua into the house. The two saw the little tyrant squatting on the coffee table, peeling the skin obsequiously. After peeling one, he fed it to the black-faced puppet. What Buttface was peeling was the red heart exquisite fruit, which was unique to the Western continent. Once the skin was peeled, bright red juice would come out. It was very delicious. Buttface threw the peeled fruit on the ground, making the ground full of red juice. Yang Chun Baishue asked unnaturally, "When will the second prince come out of seclusion? If he comes out, can you arrange for us to meet him?" Ji Hua quickly said, "Miss Schwer, His Highness will probably come out of seclusion this afternoon. I will report to him then." Yang Chun Baishue nodded and felt a little awkward, so she said, "You guys clean up and change the door at the same time." There would be servants in the prince's residence who would specifically collect those sundries and then throw them away outside the prince's residence. At this moment, Shu Qinlan was a little anxious. She was originally waiting to watch a good show, but after stretching her neck and waiting for a long time, she only heard a sound and there was no movement. She was very puzzled. The maid who gave the idea earlier pointed at the sundries bucket and said excitedly, "Miss, I saw that the sundries that Ji Hua just poured were dyed red. Could it be that that slut killed or injured the dog puppet?" "Miss, I saw it too. That slut caused a big trouble," another maid said gloatingly. Shu Qinlan was delighted. If that slut really killed the puppy puppet, her cousin would definitely not let that slut off. The more Shu Qinlan thought about it, the more excited she became. She wanted to rush into the courtyard and see what was going on. At this moment, a maid said in a low voice, "Miss, the second prince is here." Shu Qinlan looked up and saw that the second prince was indeed walking towards her. She saw that the second prince's expression was a little gloomy and could not help but feel happy. The puppet and the host had a spiritual connection. Could it be that her cousin had already noticed that the puppet had been killed? She pretended to be anxious and went up to him. "Cousin, you've come out of seclusion? That's great. Quickly go and save that poor puppy." Chapter 4564. Are you blind? What's wrong with it? The second prince stopped in his tracks, a hint of impatience flashing in his eyes. Shu Qinlan did not notice the impatience in the second prince's eyes, and she said worriedly, "I don't know what happened earlier, but that little puppy angrily barged into Sister Schwer's courtyard. Just now, Ji Hua's trash was stained red with blood. Sister Schwer must not know that the little puppy is your cousin." Before Shu Qinlan could finish her sentence, the second prince had already walked towards the courtyard where Yang Chun Baishue lived. Shu Qinlan's eyes lit up. Her cousin must be very worried about the puppy, which was why he was so anxious. That bitch was dead for sure. She quickly followed with her maid. When the guards saw her and the second prince, they thought that it was the second prince who let her in, so they did not stop her. When the second prince entered the courtyard, the first thing he saw was the big hole in the door. He was even more anxious. He could sense that nothing had happened to his little puppy puppet. Could it be that the blood that his cousin said was from Schwer? Ji Hua heard the footsteps outside. As soon as she opened the door, the second prince rushed in. Shu Qinlan was afraid that she would not be able to see the good show. She trotted into the house and said, "Cousin, is the little puppy okay? Poor little thing. It must be badly injured, right?" Shu Qinlan's words came to an abrupt end because she saw the insufferably arrogant little tyrant smashing walnuts. After smashing one of the walnuts, he fed it to the human puppet. But Face was worried that he wouldn't have a chance to show off in front of Hei Xinjiao. Now that Shu Qinlan had delivered herself to his doorstep, he naturally wouldn't let go of this good opportunity. He threw the small hammer that smashed the walnuts at Shu Qinlan. Shu Qinlan didn't expect that Buttface would suddenly attack her. The small hammer hit her left foot and she cried out in pain. Buttface glared at her and said arrogantly, "You ugly woman, shut up. Which eye of yours saw that I was injured? Are you blind?" Shu Qinlan was in pain and anger, but she didn't dare to teach Buttface a lesson. So she looked at the second prince pitifully and found that the second prince's eyes were not on her, but on Yang Chun Baishue. Yang Chun Baishue lowered her head slightly. Her face was slightly red, and it was obvious that she was a little uncomfortable. Shu Qinlan was so angry that she gritted her teeth. She couldn't care less about her usual gentle and virtuous demeanor. She yelled sharply, "Cousin, my feet are killing me." The second prince then shifted his gaze to her. His tone was flat as he said, "Since your feet are injured, go back to your residence and rest. If there's nothing else, don't come over." Shu Qinlan could not believe her ears. What did her cousin mean? She was injured by his puppet, and he still chased her away? Shu Qinlan immediately began to cry. "Cousin, how can you treat me like this? I'm your cousin." The second prince's tone was slightly cold. "Qinlan, back then when I was struggling in the palace, how did your family treat me? Have you forgotten? How did your father, my own uncle, answer me when I asked for help? He said that my mother-in-law was a married woman, so I had nothing to do with the Shu family. Later, when you saw that my situation had improved, you took the initiative to stick to me. It was already benevolent of me not to reject you out of consideration for the kinship. And what you did today made me feel that some people's hearts could not be warmed. You should leave. From now on, everything in the Shu family has nothing to do with me." Chapter 4565. Lang Mofeng's plan. Shu Qinlan's face turned pale when she heard the second prince mention the incident from before. She defended herself, "Cousin, I didn't do anything today. You can't accuse me wrongly." The second prince sneered, "You know what you've done. Send the guests away. From now on, the Shu family is not allowed to enter the manor." Immediately, a guard came in and prepared to forcibly expel Shu Qinlan and the others from the residence. Shu Qinlan said exasperatedly, "There's no need for you to chase me away. I'll leave on my own. Cousin, in the end, it's because of this slut that you treat me like this. She's a spy from the eastern continent. I'm going to report you." The second prince's expression suddenly turned cold. "Shu Qinlan, if you're not afraid of your Shu family being exterminated, you can try." Shu Qinlan was so scared that she almost sat on the ground. Usually, the second prince was gentle and refined, and there was also a trace of cynicism. However, at this moment, he was like a bloodthirsty devil, as if he could kill her at any time. I was wrong, cousin. I was talking nonsense just now. I will leave now." After saying that, Shu Qinlan rolled and crawled away. The second prince's eyes narrowed slightly. He said to a guard who was standing with his hands hanging down, "Send someone to keep an eye on her and the Shu family. If there are any unusual movements, deal with the trouble directly." Ji Hua and Ru Hua tactfully left the room. Only the second prince and Yangchun Baixue were left in the room. Well, there were two foodies. The second prince glanced at Buttface and gestured for him to leave. However, Buttface acted as if he did not see him. The second prince simply ignored him and said to Yangchun Baixue, "Miss Yang, I will never forget the kindness of saving my life back then. You just stay here. I will guarantee your safety." Hei Xinjiu silently cursed while eating the pastry that Buttface had brought to her mouth. What a prude. Miss Yang? Calling her little darling was ridiculous. Yangchun Baixue recalled what Yun Chujio had said earlier and said anxiously, Me, do you know about the matter regarding the demon sky clock?" The second prince nodded. "I understand what you mean. Don't worry. Even if the news spreads, I will do my best to protect you." Yangchun Baixue was taken aback. She had not expected the second prince to know about the demon sky clock, much less that he had decided to protect her after knowing about the demon sky clock. Hei Xinjiu rolled her eyes when she saw Yangchun Baixue in a daze. She floated in front of her and said, "Little Meme, ask him what he is going to do next." Yangchun Baixue immediately repeated Yun Chujio's words. When the second prince saw Buttface fawning over Hei Xinjiu, he knew that the puppet was not simple. Therefore, he was not surprised when he saw her communicating with Yangchun Baixue. "Although I have already sent people to suppress the news, I estimate that in 3 days at most, the news will reach the ears of father and the other nobles. Therefore, before that, I will take action to seize the throne." The second prince did not hide his intentions and revealed everything. Yangchun Baixue's eyes widened in disbelief. Seizing the throne was a huge matter. Would it work? Hei Xinjiu rolled her eyes. Little Meme was still too naive. This Lang Mofeng had narrowly escaped death back then. Naturally, he was more ruthless than the other princes in the imperial family. Since he had said it out loud, he was fully confident. He Xinjiu said a few more words to Yang Chun Baishue. Yang Chun Baixu's face turned red and she refused to ask anything. He Xinjiu had no choice but to dip her hand in the tea and write on the table, "How will you settle little Me when you ascend the throne in the future? Your subjects will not accept the women of the eastern continent as your queen, right?" Chapter 4566. Secret technique to escape from the host. The second prince's eyes twitched when he saw He Xinjiu's dog-like handwriting. Then, he said seriously, "Miss Yang, I am a victim of the harem struggle. Therefore, if I ascend to the throne, I will make you my empress and never take in concubines. I will not let our children become the victims of the harem struggle. As for the subjects' objections, that is easy to handle. My goal has never been just the throne in the Western continent. The Eastern continent and the Western continent are both beast-type demons. They are of the same lineage. If it were not for our constant internal strife, the land would not have been invaded by the plant demons. Therefore, I plan to unify the Eastern continent and the Western continent and take back the land occupied by the plant demons." Yang Chun Baishue looked at the second prince in a daze, and her heart seemed to be filled with ripples. Even when Lu Zian fawned on her back then, she did not dare to hope that she would be the only one in the harem in the future. But he actually said that he would never take in a concubine? Thinking back to what he said about unifying the eastern and western lands, her heart was filled with admiration. Such a man was a true hero. He Xinjiu nodded her head in satisfaction. This Lang Mofeng was not bad at all. Although he was not as good as her gigolo, he was still considered a rare good man in the demon race. So, don't be blinded by this scumbag. There were plenty of good men in the world. Don't be anxious. You will meet the right man eventually. Although the second prince might have some plans for little Meme, after all, marrying a woman from the eastern lands would be beneficial to win over the hearts of the people in the future. However, it could not be denied that he still liked little Meme very much. Otherwise, he would not have remembered the pastries he had eaten back then, and would not have paid so much attention to little Meme for so many years. He Xinjiu did not ask the second prince about his specific plans. Since he had already decided to usurp the throne, he must have already made preparations. It was better for her to hurry up and cultivate. The earlier she could cultivate to a physical form, the earlier she could think of a way to break away from the host's restrictions and find the whereabouts of the big brick. 3 days later, the second prince initiated a palace coup. The original emperor of the Western continent had no choice but to give up his throne. The second prince succeeded the throne and was conferred the title of Emperor Jing Shun. For a long period of time, Yang Chun Baishue could not see Emperor Kang Shun. Although he had taken the throne, there were still many remaining forces that needed to be dealt with. In the blink of an eye, a month had passed. He Xinjiu had finally cultivated to a physical form. Although her face was still dark, she could finally speak. This feeling was too damn good. After He Xinjiu had a physical form, she entered the library of the Western continent's imperial palace. She wanted to find a way to escape from the host. She, the grand ghost ancestor, did not want to be someone else's puppet forever. Needless to say, she had spent a few days before she finally found a secret technique that could escape from the host on a yellowed sheepskin scroll. However, there were 3 conditions to execute the secret technique. First, the host had to cooperate and allow the host to use the secret technique. Second, the puppet had to cultivate to a physical form. Third, the host's demonic power had to reach the level of a demon spirit. When He Xinjiu saw the third condition, she suddenly felt that she would never be able to leave the host for the rest of her life. Buttface's host, Emperor Jing Shun, had previously concealed his powers. He was currently at the 8th level of the demon primary level, and it would not be a problem for him to work hard to reach the level of a demon spirit. But little Meme was only at the 3rd level of the demon primary level. With that useless physique of hers, it would be a pipe dream for her to reach the demon spirit level. He Xinjiu's face darkened even more. And what kind of treasures had her parents left behind for her? Perhaps if she could figure out these two things, she would be able to raise little Meme's demon essence level. Chapter 4567 was swallowed. Hei Shinjio immediately flew back to Yang Chun Baeksu's bedroom. Although it had not been officially established, Yang Chun Baeksu's treatment was comparable to that of the Empress. Her days were extremely comfortable. Little Meme, you said earlier that there was a problem with your demonic energy. What exactly is the problem? Hei Shinjio went straight to the point. When Yang Chun Baishue heard her mention the demonic energy, her eyes immediately dimmed. She sighed and said, "The rate at which my demonic energy absorbs demonic energy is very slow. I don't know what is going on either." Yun Chujio blinked her eyes and asked, "What treasure did your parents leave you?" This time, Yang Chun Baishue did not hesitate. She took out a black bead from her storage ring and said, "It's this bead. It was passed down from our ancestors. No one knows what effect this bead has." Hei Shinjio saw that the bead in Yang Chun Baeksu's hand was similar to the ones that were swallowed by the black bead, so she opened her mouth to ask. However, when she opened her mouth, the bead in Yang Chun Baeksu's hand flew into her mouth. Then, it was swallowed by the black bead. Hei Shinjio opened her mouth and said, "Well, would you believe me if I said that this bead entered my mouth by itself?" Yang Chun Baishue was dumbfounded. The treasure of the house that she had sworn to protect was swallowed by her puppet just like that? Back then, she had already planned that if she could not ring the demon sky bell, she would swallow the bead into her stomach and she would not let Lu Zian get his hands on it no matter what. But now, it was swallowed by her own useless puppet. Hei Shinjio felt a rare pain in her conscience and said dryly, "Little Meme, this matter is a little complicated. Anyway, your bead is completely gone. What compensation do you want? I will definitely try my best to help you do it." Yang Chun Baishue came back to her senses and sighed. "Forget it. You have already helped me a lot. If you don't want to swallow the bead, then just swallow it. Anyway, I don't know what the use of that bead is." Yun Chujio felt even more apologetic when she said that. She said, "Then I'll give you the demon sky bell. Although it has become smaller now, it might change back one day." Hei Shinjio wanted to remove the red rope from her hand, but she could not do so no matter how hard she tried. She did not know what material the red rope was made of, and she could not break it even with scissors. "Little Gio, there's no need. Since the demon sky bell was tied to your wrist, it means that it chose you. You really don't have to compensate me. I've thought it through. That bead is just a dead object. If it's gone, then so be it," said Yang Chun Baishue. She felt that her current life was very happy, and all of this was obtained by Hei Shinjio. If the bead was gone, then so be it. Hei Shinjio felt touched and apologetic when she heard that. Thinking of Yang Chun Baeksu's demon essence, she said, "Break your finger and drop 2 drops of blood." "Useful." Yang Chun Baishue looked baffled, but she still followed Hei Xinjia's instructions and dropped 2 drops of blood. Hei Shinjio sniffed it. In fact, she let Go Weiba sniff it. Go Weiba's tail trembled, indicating that there was poison in the blood. Yun Chujio was just guessing. She did not expect her to guess correctly. As for the person who poisoned it, it was most likely the emperor of the eastern continent. The death of Yang Chun Baeksu's parents was probably not that simple. Although Yun Chujio and Go Weiba could not communicate verbally, it was a good thing that the royal palace of the western continent had many medicinal herbs. After 2 days, Yun Chujio finally found all the herbs to detoxify the poison. Chapter 4568. Hei Shinjio did not know the alchemy skills of the demon race, so she asked Emperor Jing Shun to summon a doctor to refine the herbs into pills for Yang Chun Baishue to consume. Only then did Yun Chujio tell Yang Chun Baishue her guess. Since she was not very old when her parents were in trouble, she did not have any doubts. Now that she heard Yun Chujio's words, she felt that something was not right. Her parents were in their prime, but they were seriously ill at the same time. Could it really be Emperor Kong Shao of the Eastern Continent? In order to get the answer to the question, they could only wait for Emperor Jing Shun to attack the Eastern Continent and capture Emperor Kong Shao. In the following period of time, it was unknown if it was because the toxins in her body had been removed, but Yang Chun Baeksu's monster power continued to rise. In just a month's time, Her monster power had surpassed Emperor Jing Shun and directly soared to the first level of the monster's spirit realm. He Xinjiu immediately let Yangchun Baixue use her secret technique. The process was very smooth, and He Xinjiu finally regained her freedom. However, there was a slight deviation in the result. He Xinjiu touched her pig nose. Damn it, who could tell her why she had become a pig demon? Seeing He Xinjiu's new image, but Face did not care about his fear anymore. He rolled on the ground and laughed. Ha. Little fairy, you haha, I can't take it anymore. My stomach hurts so much. I'm dying of laughter. He Xinjiu sent him flying with a kick. How fucking annoying. Yangchun Baixue couldn't help but laugh. Although pig demons were ugly among the demons, Little Jiu's transformation into a pig demon was still quite cute. Jing Shundi simply walked out of the house. Otherwise, His Majesty as the Emperor would be in ruins. It was so funny. The sadness in He Xinjiu's heart was like a river flowing against the current. If the gigolo saw her like this, he probably wouldn't kiss her anymore, right? How could he swallow her like this? Why did he turn into a pig? Even if he turned into a sheep demon, it was still better than a pig demon. Even if he didn't turn into a rabbit demon, it was still fine. When only He Xinjiu and Buttface were left, Buttface said, "Little fairy, I know. This must have something to do with your spirit beast being a pig. Have you forgotten that your majesty has even turned into a snake?" Upon hearing this, He Xinjiu recalled her dark history of torturing the small silver snake and inexplicably felt that she had suffered retribution. She comforted herself. Anyway, she could not stay in the demon realm forever. She would return to the ghost realm when she found the big brick, and her body would return to normal when she returned to the towering sky continent. After thinking about it, she did not care anymore. Wasn't it just a pig's nose? It was really nothing, really. After Jing Shundi eliminated the opposing forces in the west, he personally went on a crusade against the east. Yangchun Baixu's demonic power level was pretty good now, so she went to the front line with him. He Xinjiu naturally followed her. With He Xinjiu's evil schemes, the West Army was unstoppable. They soon reached the imperial city in the east. Lu Zian was so angry when he saw Yangchun Baixue beside Jing Shundi. Yangchun Baixue, as a native of the eastern continent, you actually colluded with the western continent to attack the eastern continent. Are you worthy of the ancestors of the Yang family? If you immediately abandon the dark and join the light, Father can let bygones be bygones. Otherwise, you will definitely die without a burial place. Lu Zian said angrily. Chapter 4569. Beware of being struck by lightning. Before Yangchun Baixue could say anything, He Xinjiu said, "Bah! You shameless bastard! Your dear tribe is running amok, and you are the common people. Little Meme is trying to save everyone. Besides, the eastern continent and the western continent were originally from the same lineage, and unification was the trend of the times. Otherwise, sooner or later, the plant demons would devour the territory of the beast demons. Moreover, how did little Meme's parents die? Don't you father and son have any idea? You have harmed Zhong Liang, and you still have the face to criticize little Meme here? How shameless!" Lu Zian's face alternated between green and white after being scolded by He Xinjiu. He felt that this demonic pig looked a little familiar. Why did it look a little similar to Yangchun Baixu's puppet? He did not have time to think about it. He was so embarrassed that he scolded angrily, "You demonic pig, you ugly freak." He Xinjiu did not listen to Lu Zian's subsequent scolding because the word pig demon had completely angered this guy. Although this guy had already accepted the fact, because of her special status in the Western continent, no one dared to call her a pig demon in front of her. Now, she was yelled out in public by this Lu Zian. How could this guy not be angry? "You scum, shut up. You shameless scum, how dare you scold me? Be careful of being struck by lightning." Boom. A purple heavenly lightning descended from the sky and struck Lu Zian's body. Lu Zian lost his balance and fell down from the city wall. But Face naturally wouldn't let go of this good opportunity to flatter Lu Zian. He immediately rushed up and bit Lu Zian's throat, directly killing him. Everyone was stunned. What was going on? Why did the pig demon say that Lu Zian was struck by lightning? Could she summon heavenly lightning? Hei Xinjiu was also a little confused. Since her jinx skill could be used in the demon area? However, the pig demon immediately had an idea and said in a clear voice, "Did you all see that? Lu Zian was struck by lightning. What does that mean?" It meant that the monster ancestor also hoped that the eastern and western continents could be united to resist the plant monster together. People of the eastern continent, are you going to go against the monster ancestor's wishes? The people of the eastern continent were already in a state of panic. On top of that, the rule of the deer race was becoming more and more brutal. Now that Hei Xinjiu had said that, they had no intention of resisting. Upon seeing this, Emperor Jing Shun immediately gave the order to attack the city. Without much effort, Emperor Jing Shun led his men to attack the imperial city and captured Emperor Kong Xiao alive. Under interrogation, Emperor Kong Xiao finally admitted the truth of poisoning Yang Chun Baixu's parents. On one hand, he was afraid that General Yang and his wife's achievements would shock the master. On the other hand, he wanted to obtain the Yang family's ancestral treasure, so he poisoned the two of them. As for poisoning Yang Chun Baixue, it was to make it easier to control her. After all, a good-for-nothing was easier to control and tame than a genius. However, he did not expect that Lu Zian could not find any clues about the treasure from Yang Chun Baixue despite his efforts. Emperor Kong Xiao could not understand it no matter how hard he tried. The situation was originally good a few months ago, but how did the country fall in just a few months? Where did the turn of events begin? It seemed to have started when Yang Chun Baixue summoned that human puppet. As for those who had once humiliated Yang Chun Baixue, such as Tu Meyer, Yang Ming Sihai, and the others, they were all tied up by Emperor Jing Shundi and brought before Yang Chun Baixue. Tu Meyer was both afraid and resentful. She had racked her brains, but in the end, it was all for naught, and she became the empress. Why was this crying Yang Chun Baixue so lucky? Chapter 45-70 Little Meme Yang Chun Baixu's gaze landed on Tu Meyer's twisted face and she said indifferently, "Do you feel very unconvinced?" Tu Meyer gritted her teeth and said, "Yes, I'm unconvinced. In terms of looks, I'm not inferior to you. In terms of family background, I'm also not inferior to you. Your demonic powers are not even worth mentioning. Other than crying, what else do you know?" Yang Chun Baixue smiled bitterly and said, "You're right. I only know how to cry. You're indeed not inferior to me." Tu Meyer sharply said, "You do know your own limitations. I'm just a little worse than you. Otherwise, I would still be the crown princess consort, and you would only be a crown princess who is at my mercy. Yes, my luck is a little better than yours. Other than that, I also have an advantage over you. That is, I've never harmed anyone, nor have I ever had the intention to harm anyone. If you had not coveted my position as the crown princess consort back then, nothing would have happened later. Therefore, you were killed by your own greed and wickedness. You cannot blame anyone else." Yang Chun Baixu's tone was still indifferent. However, her words made Tu Meyer's face turn red with anger, and she almost fainted from anger. Yang Chun Baixue continued, "Oh right, you still don't know, right? My demonic power is already at the 1st level of the demon spirit realm, and you are still at the 6th level of the demon spirit realm. Which one of us is trash?" Only then did Tu Meyer notice that she was actually unable to see Yang Chun Baixu's cultivation level clearly. Could it be that what she said was true? She had already reached the 1st level of the demon spirit realm? Tu Meyer suddenly felt that she had lost miserably. There wasn't even a chance for her to turn things around. Yang Ming Sihai saw that Tu Meyer was in a daze and didn't speak anymore. He hurriedly knelt down and begged, "Niece Schwer, I am your biological uncle. On account of the fact that we are family, please spare me. Niece Schwer, you only have me as your family. Please spare me. As long as you spare me, I will definitely conceal my identity and never appear in front of you again." Yang Chun Baixue sneered, "Biological uncle? The reason why Emperor Kong Xiao poisoned me and my parents so smoothly, do you dare to say that it has nothing to do with you? After my parents passed away, you tried every possible means to seize the family property. If it were not for the comprehensive plan that my parents thought of before they passed away, you would have already succeeded, right? After that, under Lucian's instructions, you tried to trick me into handing over the things my parents left me. You are not worthy to be a member of the Yang family. You'd better go underground and apologize to my parents. Men, push these people out and kill them. Immediately, the guards pushed everyone out while Yang Chun Baishue sat on a chair with some disappointment. Yun Chujio watched from the side. People would grow up eventually. Yang Chun Baishue was no longer the timid little meme that only knew how to cry. This was good too. Otherwise, even though Emperor Jing Shun had promised that he would never take in concubines, there would definitely be ministers trying to squeeze women into his side. If little meme did not become strong, it would be at a disadvantage in the future. After Emperor Jing Shun reached the first level of the demon spirit realm, he also used a secret technique to let Buttface free. Hei Shinjio could not help but feel a little jealous. Why did Buttface maintain his original appearance while she turned into a pig demon? This fellow prayed to the gods and Buddhas in his heart, heaven, earth, and spirits. Pretty boy, please don't be teleported to the demon territory. Otherwise, if he sees her like this, she will be ashamed to live. Chapter 4571. The White Fox Woman's puppet. Hei Shinjio asked Jing Shundi to help investigate the whereabouts of the large brick. However, no one from the east or west had summoned a large brick puppet. However, there was an unexpected gain. Little Gio, His Majesty told me that a White Fox woman summoned a human puppet. It's said to be a man. He's quite good-looking. Do you want to meet him? Yang Chun Baishue said with a smile. Hei Xinjia's heart thumped and her head buzzed. A man? He's quite good-looking? Fuck, it can't be her gigolo, right? As everyone knew, fox women were the most seductive. Could it be that the gigolo's innocence had been destroyed? She hadn't even succeeded yet, and she was already being taken advantage of by a vixen? This guy touched his own pig nose again, feeling very stifled. Yang Chun Baishue saw that Yun Chujio didn't speak for a long time, and said hesitantly, Little Gio, you don't want to see her? Then he'll go and tell. No, I want to see her, Hei Shinjio said hurriedly. After Yang Chun Baishue passed Hei Xinjia's opinion to Jing Shundi immediately sent someone to summon the fox woman into the imperial palace. Although Empress Yang was quite good-looking, how could she compare to the White Fox woman? Furthermore, she was the most beautiful White Fox woman. As long as she entered the imperial palace, she would bring down Empress Yang sooner or later. Moreover, Empress Yang no longer had any direct relatives and was alone. She was different. Her grandfather was the clan leader of the Fox clan, and he would crush her in all aspects. Although she summoned a humanoid puppet, didn't Empress Yang also summon a humanoid puppet? Perhaps His Majesty liked such a tone. The more Hu Jiaojiao thought about it, the more she felt that the position of Empress was hers. Therefore, when she saw Yang Chun Baishue, not only was she not very respectful, she even carried a bit of disdain. Yang Chun Baishue was now much more transparent than before. Naturally, she could see through Hu Jiaojiao's thoughts and felt that it was somewhat funny. Hu Jiaojiao gave a perfunctory bow. Yang Chun Baishue did not say much and asked someone to watch her seat. Before Yang Chun Baishue could speak, Hu Jiaojiao said, Your Majesty, His Majesty summoned me into the palace. When will His Majesty come? Yang Chun Baishue picked up the teacup and took a sip of tea. The palace maid beside her immediately understood what she meant and berated Hu Jiaojiao, How dare you? How can you ask about His Majesty's whereabouts? Hu Jiaojiao was shocked and her heart was filled with hatred. When she entered the palace and became the empress, she would definitely kill this lowly servant. Yang Chun Baishue did not say anything. She just calmly sipped her tea and left Hu Jiaojiao hanging there. Hei Shinjio, who was standing behind Yang Chun Baishue, was secretly delighted. Little Meme was becoming more and more powerful. This Hu Jiaojiao really did not know her own capabilities. Did she think that Jing Shundi had taken a fancy to her? Shameless. Hei Shinjio wore a veil on her face for no other reason. This fellow was afraid that Hu Jiaojiao's puppet was de-biming. She did not want to expose her pig nose. At the very least, she had to give the pretty boy some time to recover. Yang Chun Baixue gave Hu Jiaojiao the cold shoulder for a while before saying, "Miss Hu, I heard that you summoned a human puppet? Can you summon it for me to see?" Hu Jiaojiao wanted to refuse, but she didn't dare. She could only summon her puppet reluctantly. Chapter 4572 almost became a pickle. He Xinjia's heart was in a mess. She hoped that it was Di Biming who was summoned, but she didn't want it to be Di Biming. She was in a dilemma. However, when this guy saw the puppet that was summoned by Hu Jiaojiao, he almost laughed out loud. The puppet that was summoned by Hu Jiaojiao was pretty good looking. It had also cultivated to a physical form. However, it had a wooden face and looked like it had nothing to live for. Yang Chun Baixue caught a glimpse of He Xinjia's trembling shoulders from the corner of her eye. Her eyes were almost smiling into crescent moons. She thought to herself, could it be that she knew this puppet? However, looking at her gloating expression, could it be that this person had a grudge with her in the past? Hu Jiaojiao saw that Yang Chun Baixue was sizing up her puppet. A hint of understanding flashed in her eyes. It seemed that this Empress Yang was in the same boat as her. Although the human puppet was not as beautiful as the fox man, it was more manly. It was not bad to keep it around as a toy. However, the wooden puppet was unromantic, and she had no way to fully control it. She was frustrated that she had not succeeded yet. He Xinjiao poked Yang Chun Baixu's back with her finger. Yang Chun Baixue understood and immediately said with a smile, "Miss Hu, the puppet that I summoned is also a human puppet. Can they come to the side hall to exchange their cultivation experience?" Hu Jiaojiao finally noticed He Xinjiao, who was wearing a veil. Her heart skipped a beat. Could it be that Empress Yang really had feelings for her puppet? Of course, she was happy to see that happen. She immediately waved her hand at her puppet, indicating for it to leave with He Xinjiao. The puppet followed He Xinjiao out of Yang Chun Baixu's palace with a wooden expression and went to a side hall next to it. After entering the side hall, He Xinjiao could not hold it any longer. She held her stomach and squatted on the ground, laughing so hard that she almost cried out. The puppet's wooden face showed some anger. He shouted hoarsely, "What are you laughing at?" He Xinjiao laughed and said, "Little shadow, have you already been slept with by that vixen?" "Ah, I'm dying of laughter. You've actually become a vixen's puppet." He only remembered that after a blinding white light, he knew nothing. When he regained consciousness, he had become Hu Jiaojiao's puppet. When he realized his new identity, it was as if he had been struck by lightning. What was that? Puppet? Monster race? Wasn't the monster race already extinct? Why were there so many monsters here? Wait a minute, let's put the extermination of the monster race aside for now. Why did he become a puppet? The first thought that flashed through his mind was that he had been tricked. He had been tricked by He Xinjiao. It must be her doing. However, after he calmed down, he felt that perhaps he had only been implicated by that damn Yunchujio. This might be the place that the drifter had mentioned had many spirit souls. Qi Ying was able to hide in the myriad ghosts cave for such a long time. Naturally, his mental fortitude was not something that ordinary people could compare to. Hence, after a short period of panic, he began to concentrate on his cultivation. However, when he condensed a physical body, he was met with tragedy. Although he did not look as seductive as the fox man, Hu Jiaojiao saw that he had a different kind of manliness and tried to seduce him in every way possible. Qi Ying naturally would not take the bait and refused every time. Seeing that he was not up to the task, Hu Jiaojiao drugged his diet. The miserable Qi Ying soaked in cold water for 3 days and 3 nights and almost became a pickle. Chapter 4573. Could she be that pig demon? Although Qi Ying wanted to stay in Hu Jiaojiao's sea of consciousness and not come out, he was not as perverted as Yun Chujiao and could not be controlled by Yang Chun Baixue. Once Hu Jiaojiao summoned him, he could only passively come out from the sea of consciousness. In addition, Hu Jiaojiao was full of tricks. Qi Ying was simply living a life worse than death. Sometimes, he even thought that he might as well have committed suicide in front of Yun Chujiao so that he could at least keep his innocence. Countless humiliating scenes flashed through Qi Ying's mind. When he saw He Xinjiu laughing maniacally again, he felt so ashamed that he wanted to bang his head against the wall. When he heard the words little shadow, he knew that the guy in front of him was none other than Yun Chujio, who had caused him to suffer a fate worse than death. He Xinjiu looked at Qi Ying, who wanted to strangle her to death, and her smile grew wider. This idiot still wanted to lurk by her side and inform the divine devil hall? He could not torture him to death. While Qi Ying was angry, he suddenly had an idea. Right now, only the little devil could help him get rid of that vixen. It would be better for him to curry favor with her first and deal with her when he returned to the towering sky continent. Thinking of this, Qi Ying's expression changed from anger to pleading. Yun Chujio, help me find a way to get rid of that Hu Jiaojio's control. I will definitely repay your kindness in the future. Little Ying, it's not difficult for me to save you, but you have to tell me first. Have you slept with that Hu Jiaojiao? He Xinjia's eyes were full of burning gossip. Little shadow, I don't understand. That Hu Jiaojiao is so charming. Just let her be. Why do you have to break away from her control? He Xinjiu said with a wicked smile. Qi Ying gnashed his teeth and said, how can a man be coerced by a vixen? I want to obey her even if I die. He Xinjiu almost laughed out loud. Qi Ying's look was really arrogant. Qi Ying took a deep breath and resisted the urge to slap Yun Chujio to death. He said patiently, do you have any way to get me out of her control? Yun Chujio sighed and said, little shadow, although I have a way, it's a little difficult. First, you have to let that Hu Jiaojiao cultivate to the first level of the demon spirit realm. Moreover, she has to take the initiative to use a secret technique to set you free. Since she covets you, why would she take the initiative to set you free? Qi Ying's heart sank when he heard that. Putting aside whether or not Hu Jiaojiao would agree to set him free, that Hu Jiaojiao was only at the 6th level of the demon beginning realm. It was still too early for her to cultivate to the first level of the demon spirit realm. Was he going to be manipulated by that vixen? He Xinjiu looked at Qi Ying's despondent expression and comforted him. In a few days, the books from the royal palace of the East Continent will be transported here. I will flip through them when the time comes. Maybe there are other ways. You have to bear with it for a few days. Qi Ying was still useful, so He Xinjiu naturally would not leave him to die. Qi Ying had no other choice but to nod in agreement. When the two of them left the side chamber, Qi Ying noticed that He Xinjiu had been wearing a veil the whole time. Just as he was about to ask, he suddenly remembered some rumors from the West Continent. It was said that there was a pig demon by Empress Yang's side who could communicate with the demon ancestor and even command the heavenly thunder. Could the pig demon mention be? He Xinjiu saw Qi Ying staring at her veil and glared at him. What are you looking at? If you keep looking, it'll send you to Hu Jiaojio's bed. Chapter 45-74 Qi Ying's thoughts. Qi Ying's tiger body trembled and he did not dare to look anymore. However, in his heart, he was already certain that He Xinjiu was the legendary pig demon. He could not stop laughing in his heart. This Yun Chujio had already become a pig demon, and she still had the nerve to laugh at him? If Di Baiming knew that she had become a pig demon, he might despise her and the two of them would turn against each other. The more Qi Ying thought about it, the more excited he became. However, he did not dare to show it because he believed that Yun Chujio would really do something like sending him to Hu Jiaojio's bed. When Yun Chujio and Qi Ying returned, they did not expect Jing Shundi to be in the palace. Qi Ying's admiration for him was like a torrential river. He was really calm for being able to keep his innocence by Hu Jiaojio's side. A hint of impatience flashed across Jing Shundi's eyes. However, seeing that Yang Chun Baishue had no intention of sending him off, he had no choice but to drink his tea quietly. Seeing that He Xinjiu had returned, Yang Chun Baishue said to Hu Jiaojiao, Miss Hu, I still have something to discuss with His Majesty. You may take your leave. Hu Jiaojio's eyes were filled with tears as she looked at Jing Shundi. Unfortunately, Jing Shundi did not even look at her. Hu Jiaojiao had no choice but to leave unwillingly. When she left, she turned around 3 times, hoping that Jing Shundi would say something to stop her. After Hu Jiaojiao left, Yang Chun Baishue smiled and asked, Your Majesty, what do you think of Hu Jiaojiao? Jing Shundi chuckled and said, Shuer, are you jealous? Not to mention that she is such a flirtatious woman. No woman in my heart can compare to a strand of your hair. Hei Shinjio almost burst out laughing. This Jing Shundi really knew how to flirt with girls. Yang Chun Baeksu's face was red with embarrassment. She forced herself to change the topic uncomfortably and asked Hei Shinjio, "Little Jio, are you old friends with Hu Jiaojio's puppet?" Previously, Yun Chujio had fabricated her background and concealed her identity as a ghost ancestor. She only said that they were all members of the ghost clan and were here to look for their companions. Although Emperor Jing Shun and Yang Chun Baixue were skeptical, they were certain that Yun Chujio and the others had no ill intentions, so they did not ask further. Therefore, Yang Chun Baixue would now ask if Yun Chujio and Qiying were old friends. Yun Chujio nodded. They are indeed old friends, and he is my friend. It's just that Hu Jiaojio's demonic power is too low, and she might not be willing to let him go. It's a bit difficult. Emperor Jing Shun said in a low voice, "It doesn't matter if she is willing or not. I have given an order, and I don't think she would dare to defy it. However, it's very difficult for her demonic power to reach the first level of the demon spirit realm." Little Jio, what His Majesty said makes sense. Many people will never be able to break through the shackles of the 9th level of the demonic spirit realm. I'm afraid it will be very difficult for your friend to escape from Hu Jiaojio's control, Yang Chun Baixue echoed. Yun Chujio knew that what they said made sense. She could only hope that she could find a solution in the collection of books in the Imperial Palace of the Eastern Continent. To their surprise, the next day, Hu Jiaojiao shamelessly asked to see Yang Chun Baixue outside the palace gate. Hei Shinjio said while eating the walnuts that Buttface had smashed, "Little Meme, it seems that the vixen wants to enter the palace to seduce your husband. What do you plan to do?" Yang Chun Baixue said with a little self-deprecation, "I'm afraid there will be many more such people in the future. I may be able to block one, but I may not be able to block 100. Let's see how His Majesty will respond." Chapter 4575. Hei Shinjio felt that Yang Chun Baixue was right. The root of the problem lay in Jing Shundi. Even if she defended day and night, she might not be able to defend against it. Yang Chun Baixue sent a palace maid to reject Hu Jiaojio's request to see her. Hu Jiaojiao left in a huff. Qiying, who was cultivating in her sea of consciousness, curled his lips. Empress Yang had that little devil by her side. This vixen still wanted to get close to her? He probably did not even know how he would die in the future. What Yang Chun Baixue and Hei Shinjio did not expect was that when Emperor Jing Shun was in the morning court the next day, he had made it clear to the civil and military officials that he would never take in a concubine in this lifetime. Whoever sent another woman to his side would be severely punished. When Yang Chun Baixue heard the news, she burst into tears. Hei Shinjio. However, it had to be said that this Emperor Jing Shun understood the thoughts of women very well. Little Meme did not marry the wrong person. 2 days later, the books from the Eastern Land Imperial Palace were brought into the Imperial Palace. Hei Shinjio once again buried her head in her studies. Buttface also came over to help eagerly. "Little fairy, why haven't I seen that vixen's puppet before?" Buttface asked curiously. Buttface stared at her and said, "So it's someone from the Divine Devil Hall. Why did you save him?" "Just let him sleep with the fox spirit." Hei Shinjio curled her lips. "The Divine Devil Hall has always been secretive. I still haven't figured out what's going on with them. I might be of great use if I keep Qiying by my side." Buttface blinked. "Little fairy, whatever you say is right. Since you want to save him, I'll support you with 4 paws." Hei Shinjio. This guy was getting more and more adept at flattering her. Hei Shinjio and Buttface searched for a few days and finally found a method. After Hei Shinjio told Yang Chun Baixue the method, Yang Chun Baixue frowned. "Little Jio, the treasure used in this array is easy to deal with. His Majesty will definitely find a way to get it. However, after this secret technique is used, Hu Jiaojio's cultivation will be reduced by 2 levels. Will she agree to it?" Jing Shundi said from the side, "Leave this matter to me. I believe that the clan leader of the White Fox clan will agree to it with benefits." Jing Shundi's confidence was quickly smacked in the face. The Fox clan leader suggested that unless Hu Jiaojiao entered the palace as a concubine, The Fox clan would never agree to this matter. Jing Shundi wanted to take a forceful measure, but he was stopped by a trusted minister. Your Majesty, the Fox clan and the Tiger clan have always had a good relationship. We have just unified the eastern and western continents. If we really offend the Fox clan, I'm afraid that it will cause a stir. Hearing this, Jing Shundi was a little cautious. After he returned, he told Yang Chunbaishue and He Xinjiu about what had happened. He Xinjiu curled her lips. Help me prepare the things I need and summon Hu Jiaojiao into the palace. I'll persuade her. Jing Shundi knew that this fellow was full of evil intentions, so he immediately nodded and agreed. When Hu Jiaojiao learned that Jing Shundi had summoned her into the palace, she was extremely pleased. She knew that His Majesty would definitely agree. After all, no man could resist her beauty. Previously, it was only because of that Empress Yang. Now that she had a way out, she naturally went down. Hence, Hu Jiaojiao dressed up very meticulously and entered the palace. Hu Jiaojiao was brought to a side hall by the palace maids. She was delighted. Could it be that the emperor was already impatient to have a good thing with her? Chapter 4576. Hu Jiaojiao, who wished for a quick death. Hu Jiaojiao's excited mood quickly turned cold. After she was brought to the side chamber by the palace maid, the door was immediately closed. Inside the room was not Jing Shundi but the puppet wearing a veil. He Xinjiu looked at Hu Jiaojiao and said with a smile, "What? You don't think that the emperor brought you here, do you? You don't think that he called you here to have sex with you, do you?" Hu Jiaojiao subconsciously wanted to escape, but He Xinjiu said coldly, "You want to escape? There are guards outside the door. Do you think you can escape?" He Xinjiu chuckled. "Won't let it go? You take your Fox clan too seriously. In other words, you take yourself too seriously. Even if I kill you, your grandfather wouldn't dare to fart. After all, there are many people in the Fox clan who want to be the clan leader. There are many people who don't want to be the clan leader." A hint of panic flashed across Hu Jiaojiao's face. You are spouting nonsense." Yun Chujio shook her finger. "Wrong, you are spouting nonsense. After all, you are a vixen, aren't you? Hu Jiaojiao, let me be frank with you. That puppet of yours is my friend. You have to let it go, no matter what. Don't even think about trying to reason with me. Don't talk about right and wrong. What I say is right and I am the law. What if you don't agree? I won't kill you. I will poison you. Your face will start to fester, and your beauty that you were so proud of will be gone. Do you think that you can find someone else to help you detoxify? I'm sorry, the poison that I made cannot be cured by anyone. Why don't we give it a try?" Hu Jiaojiao was both afraid and angry. "You don't dare. You are scaring me." Yun Chujio snorted coldly. Her figure was like a ghost as she approached Hu Jiaojiao. The dagger in her hand slashed Hu Jiaojiao's face. Hu Jiaojiao screamed immediately. She covered her face and looked at He Xinjiu, who was standing in front of her in horror. He Xinjiu waved the dagger in front of her eyes and said, "There is no spice added to this dagger. If you still don't agree, I will have to add more spice to it." Hu Jiaojiao retreated in horror. He Xinjiu did not chase after her and said with a smile, "You will not be able to escape from my hands. I advise you to cooperate with me. After the deed is done, His Majesty will make you a princess. Do you want to be disfigured and live a life worse than death, or become a princess happily? I'll give you 15 minutes to consider." There was no suspense in the result. Hu Jiaojiao chose to cooperate in the end. Her blackmail methods were effective for normal people, but for a scoundrel like He Xinjiu, she could only admit defeat. Even if she wanted to enter the palace and become a concubine, she had to be alive. She had no doubt that if she did not agree, the pig demon would really poison her. After Jing Shundi received the news, he could not help but shake his head and smile bitterly. The wicked will be tortured by the wicked. People like Hu Jiaojiao would have to be dealt with by little Jiao. Jing Shundi immediately arranged for people to set up the array, while Hu Jiaojiao was almost annoyed to death by He Xinjiu. "Hu Jiaojiao, tell me the truth. How many men have you slept with? Hu Jiaojiao, what do you like about Little Shadow? He doesn't look good either. Hu Jiaojiao, don't get married in the future. It would be great if you could marry 10 or 8 husbands and enjoy yourself at home. That way, other people would have more material to write their storybooks, right? Hu Jiao Jiao, I beg for a quick death. Chapter 4577, Princess Ru Hua. After the formation was set up, Hu Jiaojiao couldn't wait to enter the formation. This pig demon was simply a lunatic. She was so annoyed. Hu Jiaojiao spent nearly 4 hours before Qi Ying was finally removed from her sea of consciousness. She fainted from exhaustion. Emperor Jing Shun had someone give her a high-quality elixir. After she woke up, he rewarded her with many things and gave her the title of Princess Ru Hua. Hu Jiaojiao had thought it through. Since things were already like this, it was not a bad thing to get the title of princess after getting so many things. Anyway, she could cultivate again. She was quite satisfied with the title of Ru Hua. Her Ru Hua beauty matched this title very well. Little did she know that He Xinjiu was the one who helped her to get this title. This guy was laughing so hard that he almost cried. Qi Ying had regained his freedom. He was so happy that he almost cried. He thought that he was going to be a vixen's puppet for the rest of his life. He did not expect that he had regained his freedom. Buttface said to Buttface, "Little Shadow, why aren't you thanking the little fairy? If it weren't for the little fairy, you would have become a vixen's man." Qi Ying snorted in his heart. Thank? If it weren't for Yun Chujiu, would he have become the vixen's puppet? If it weren't for her, would he have suffered so much inhuman abuse? It was already good enough that he didn't hate her. However, when he thought about it, he still had to hide by Yun Chujiu's side, so he could only pretend to be grateful and say, "Yun Chujiu, thank you for this matter. I will repay you well in the future." Yun Chujiu waved her hand perfunctorily. This fellow was feeling frustrated. Why did Mao Qiying look exactly the same as before? Why was she the only one who turned into a pig demon? Just as He Xinjiu was feeling frustrated, the demon sky bell on her wrist, which had been silent the whole time, suddenly sucked her, Qi Ying, and Buttface in and then flew out. He Xinjiu was dumbfounded. What was wrong with this broken bell? Where was it taking them? Buttface and Qi Ying were even more dumbfounded. Yun Chujiu shrugged. It's probably taking us out for a walk. The demon territory is so big, it wants to take a look. Qi Ying. Yun Chujiu pondered. The demon sky bell must have exhausted its demonic energy and stayed still. Now that it had recovered a part of its demonic energy, it was doing this. However, what was its ultimate goal? This fellow had a big heart. Since there was no way for it to leave the demon sky bell, it would be better to just come. At the same time, she could also inquire about the news of the big brick. Moreover, since Qi Ying had been teleported to the demon region, the pretty boy, AOG, and Chu Mo were probably also teleported here. It was also good to go to other places to inquire about the news. Qi Ying saw that Yun Chujiu was eating and drinking as if nothing had happened. He cursed in his heart. This stupid girl was really heartless. Wasn't she afraid that this broken bell would bring her to some dangerous place? What made Qi Ying even more upset was that Buttface finally had someone to bully. Naturally, he would not be polite and tormented Qi Ying until he almost went crazy. He once again doubted his original decision. If he had known it would be like this, he would have died. 3 days later, He Xinjiu and the other two were suddenly thrown out by the demon sky bell. Before He Xinjiu could rub her buttocks, she heard someone shout, "How dare you, pig demon? How dare you come to the territory of plant demon? Are you tired of living?" Chapter 4578, Was it your turn to be a pig demon? It was inconvenient for He Xinjiu to wear the veil inside the demon sky bell, so she had taken it off long ago. Qi Ying did not dare to laugh at her anyway. Therefore, she was recognized as a pig demon as soon as she appeared. He Xinjiu was immediately enraged when she was called a pig demon. However, this fellow's anger was quickly extinguished. There was no other reason. This fellow discovered that the 3 of them seemed to be at the market, and the people around them were obviously not beast demons. The person who spoke had a large radish on his forehead. It was probably a radish monster. The people around him had trees on their foreheads, grass on their foreheads, and mushrooms on their foreheads. Plant monsters were different from beast monsters. Their appearances were basically no different from humans. Only their true forms would appear on their foreheads. They had thrown them into the market because they were afraid that they would not die. Qiying was also dumbfounded. No matter how powerful they could not be a match for so many plant demons. Could it be that they were going to die? On the other hand, Buttface looked calm and composed. With the little fairy around, what was there to be afraid of? There was no problem that the little fairy could not solve. It just wanted to watch the show. If Hei Shinjio knew what Buttface was thinking, she would probably strangle him to death. Before Hei Shinjio could think of any countermeasures, she heard someone say, "These 3 beast monsters must be up to no good. They might be spies. Go, beat them to death." When Hei Shinjio heard the word spies, her heart skipped a beat. She stood up and shouted sternly, "How dare you? Let's see who dares to touch us. We are the envoys sent by the beast monsters of the northern region. Quickly bring us to your emperor. If we delay the important matter, none of you will survive." The surrounding people were stunned at first, then they began to shout, "Do you think we are fools? If you are the messengers, why didn't you just hand over the national letter? Instead, you sneaked into our southern mountain range? You must be up to no good. No matter how bad your northern mountain range is, you still have to send a decent messengers. Do you think you are a pig demon?" That's right, a pig demon, a useless dog demon that can't transform, and a monkey demon. How dare they call themselves messenger? It's hilarious. Hei Shinjio almost exploded when she heard them call him a pig demon. Buttface widened his eyes as well. So what if he couldn't transform? These stupid plant demons must be jealous of his beauty. Qiying was also sullen. How did he look like a demon? Why was he regarded as a monkey demon? After the discussion quieted down a little, Hei Shinjio said slowly, "You guys are really lacking in information. The 3 of us are not ordinary beast demons. We were originally puppets, but we only regained our freedom later. My host is the Queen of the Northern Region, and his host is the Emperor of the Northern Region. His host is Princess Ruhua. Are the 3 of us not qualified to be emissaries?" Hearing Hei Xinjia's words, the plant demons looked at each other. The radish demon who spoke first said, "I've heard that the Empress of the Northern Region has a puppet of a pig demon. That puppet of Emperor Jingshun is indeed a yellow puppy. As for Princess Ruhua, I've never heard of her." Some people in the crowd echoed, "That's right. I've heard of her too. Are they really envoys?" The crowd started discussing again. Someone suggested, no matter if they are envoys or spies, it's not wrong to send them to the government. Chapter 4579. Hei Xinjia's brainless fans. Hei Shinjio snorted coldly, "We don't need you to escort us. We'll leave by ourselves. Your southern mountain range is known as a country of etiquette. I didn't expect you to treat the envoys like this. You've really broadened our horizons." The plant demons were originally prepared to push Hei Shinjio and the other 2 a few times, but now that they heard Hei Xinjia's words, they did not dare to act rashly. They escorted the 3 of them to the government office. Although Hei Shinjio looked proud on the surface, she was cursing Demon Sky Clock in her heart. But now, they could only take one step at a time. Soon, they arrived at the government office. Hei Shinjio saw a man who looked like an official sitting in the main hall. Hei Shinjio almost laughed out loud when she saw the sweet potato pattern on the man's forehead. A thought flashed through his mind. If an official did not make decisions for the people, he might as well go home and sell sweet potatoes. Before the man could ask, Hei Shinjio said pretentiously. The official was stunned for a moment before he said, "This is the Imperial City." Hei Shinjio. Damn it, he was showing off. This is the Imperial City? Isn't the Imperial City too shabby? However, this guy didn't look embarrassed at all. He said, "You heard wrong. I'm talking about the Imperial Palace, not the Imperial City." The official frowned. "Since you said that you're the envoys of the northern region, do you have a national certificate? Or something to prove your identity?" Hei Shinjio complained in her heart. Her storage ring was filled with food. How could she have anything that could prove her identity? Not to mention the imperial edict. If she had known this would happen, She would have asked Emperor Jingshun for some blank imperial edicts. Seeing that Yun Chujio did not reply for a long time, the official was shocked. Even if you are the puppets of the Emperor and Empress of the northern region, if you did not have the official edict to infiltrate the southern region, you would be scheming against us. Men, take them to the prison and wait for me to report it to the higher-ups before you punish them. Therefore, Hei Shinjio and the rest were taken to the prison by the bailiffs. The prisoners in the prison all looked at Hei Shinjio curiously. Someone whistled and said, "Io, we didn't enter this prison for nothing. We actually saw a pig demon. What an eye-opener. Look at her nose. It's so ugly." Hei Shinjio was so angry that she almost died. This guy tried to persuade her. Patience was a virtue. Just take it that he was complimenting her. Hei Shinjio and the other two were locked in a separate cell. The bailiff locked the cell door and left. Qi Ying lowered his voice and said to Hei Shinjio, "What should we do next? Even if they verify our identities, the best outcome will be that they will be used as hostages to threaten Jing Shundi. Although Jing Shundi treats you well, if the plant demon lion opens its mouth, he will definitely not care about our lives." Buttface glared at him. "Get lost. What can be difficult for the little fairy? The little fairy can easily kill them with her evil deeds." Qi Ying couldn't take it anymore. "Stop bragging at a time like this. If she had a way, would she still be locked up in prison?" Buttface rolled his eyes. "You don't know that. The little fairy must be trying to do something in this prison. Otherwise, would those useless people still want to capture the little fairy? There was no problem in this world that the little fairy couldn't solve. The little fairy doesn't enter the tiger's den to get the tiger's son. Are you stupid? But you were almost slept with by a vixen. It's normal that your brain isn't working." Chapter 4580, Prison Cell. Qi Ying was furious with Buttface. He thought to himself, as expected, the kind of master has the kind of spirit pet. He didn't know which ravine Yun Chujio picked up this stupid dog. He ignored Buttface and waited for Yun Chujio's answer. Yun Chujio looked speechlessly at Buttface, who had stars in his eyes. This time, she didn't go into the tiger's den to get the tiger's son. She really had no choice. Speaking of which, it felt pretty good to have such a brainless fan who blindly trusted her. Qi Ying was right. Even if their identities were confirmed, they would be taken as hostages to threaten Jing Shundi because they did not have the national certificate. Prison break? Don't joke around. Although the three of them had high demonic power, they were in the territory of the plant demons. With such distinctive features, they could not escape at all. Hei Shinjio looked at the demon sky clock on her wrist and mumbled, "If we die, you won't be able to do what you want to do. Stop pretending to be dead and bring us out of here." The demon sky clock did not respond at all, as if it was dead. Qi Ying glanced at Buttface. "Did he mean that you stopped bragging? Why don't you brag?" Buttface looked at Qi Ying as if he was looking at an idiot and said, "What do you know? Little fairy, this is called using stillness to stop movement and using unchanging to respond to changes. Just wait and see." Qi Ying was speechless. This stupid dog was most likely a pig's brain. The cells here were not separated by walls, but by iron railings. Therefore, although the people in the other cells could not hear the whispers of Yun Chujio and the other two, it did not stop them from pointing at the three of them. Since Qi Ying's appearance was no different from theirs, and Buttface was similar to an ordinary puppy, the focus of the prisoners' discussion was basically Hei Shinjio, the pig demon. Hei Shinjio was originally too lazy to bother with them, but she rolled her eyes and felt that it was not bad to get some information while she was at it. Therefore, this fellow waved his claws at the people in the left and right cells. "Brothers, the cells are connected by a thread. Cherish this fate. Imju Xiaojiu. How should I address you, brothers?" Qi Ying's jaw almost fell off. What nonsense was this? They even had a connection in the prison cell, cherishing this fate? However, it had to be said that this wretched girl's skin was thick enough, and she even gave herself the fake name of Zhu Xiaojiu. Was she addicted to being a pig demon? The prisoners on both sides of the prison cell were also dumbfounded. This pig demon was most likely crazy, right? Big brothers, I'm an envoy from the northern region, but because we lost the national letter, I was locked up inside. Brothers, since I have nothing to do, why don't I tell you about the northern region? Are you interested? Hei Shinjio said with a smile. The prisoners were so bored that mushrooms were growing out of their heads. Naturally, they wanted Hei Shinjio to tell them quickly. Hei Shinjio didn't hesitate and started to sing happily. Hei Shinjio was good at singing, so she sang with passion. The prisoners were mesmerized. Even the 2 prison guards came over to listen to Hei Shinjio. When the 2 prison guards saw that Hei Shinjio's mouth was dry, they even specially brought in a pot of tea and a plate of pastries. Chi-ing rolled his eyes speechlessly. Was this a prison or a tea house that listened to books? Chapter 4581. New News. Chi-ing really did not understand Hei Shinjio's purpose of doing this. Was she trying to impress the public? Hei Shinjio did not continue when she reached the most critical point and the climax. She said, "I'm too tired from talking. I need to rest for a while. Does anyone have anything new to tell me?" Those people wished they could rush into the prison cell and strangle Hei Shinjio to continue. However, they had no choice but to talk about some new news. Hei Shinjio's eyes flickered. She had extracted some information from those new things. For example, the royal family of the plant demon tribe was a Rot-Tan tribe. For example, the opening hours of the city gates of the imperial city. For example, the patrolling characteristics of the imperial city. Someone talked about a new thing. 300 miles away from the imperial city, there were 2 families in Zhucheng that were sworn enemies. Recently, they had become in-laws. It was said that the young couple had summoned human-shaped puppets. Hei Shinjio's heart skipped a beat. Those 2 human-shaped puppets were most likely 2 of the pretty boy, Aog, and Chuimo. Otherwise, the 2 sides would not have suddenly become friends. If she could escape from the prison, she would have a temporary place to stay in Zhucheng. As for how to escape from the prison, it could not be any simpler. The prisoners in the prison would be fed with medicine powder to dissolve the demonic power. However, it was useless to a pervert like Hei Shinjio. After a while, she continued to tell stories. After a while, she asked the jailer to bring her tea. The 2 jailers did not know that there was a trap. As soon as they opened the prison door, they were controlled by Hei Shinjio and Chi-ing. Just as the prisoners were about to make a noise, Hei Shinjio made a gesture of silence and said, "Don't make a noise. I'll let you go later." When the prisoners heard this, they stopped making a ruckus and obediently waited for Hei Shinjio to let them go. Hei Shinjio knocked the 2 prison guards unconscious and then changed into their clothes. However, her pig nose was really difficult to deal with, so she had no choice but to cover it with a black cloth. She could disguise herself, but time was limited, so she had to escape first. Hei Shinjio signaled Chi-ing with her eyes, and the 2 of them quickly left the prison area with butt-face. The prisoners were stunned at first, and then they cursed angrily. So that pig demon was lying to them. How shameless! He even dared to lie to the prisoners. Hei Shinjio couldn't be bothered with them. Since these people were most likely caught committing crimes, how could she let them out? Moreover, would the consequences be the same if only the 3 of them escaped and broke out of the prison together? If the matter got out of hand, it would be as difficult as climbing up to the sky if they wanted to escape from the city. However, they had to hurry up, otherwise, the noise of the prisoners would soon attract the others. Hei Shinjio asked Chi-ing to push Buttface into his arms. Anyway, Buttface was very small, so no one could see anything. Buttface's face was full of disgust. He preferred to stay in the soft arms of the little fairy. However, when he thought of a certain someone who was jealous, he still covered his nose and went into Chi-ing's clothes. Chi-ing snorted coldly. This stupid dog still despised him. If it was not forced by the situation, he would have killed it long ago. When she was brought into the prison, Hei Shinjio had already memorized the route. Moreover, it was already dark. Although she encountered the patrolling guards, no one questioned her. Hei Shinjio and Chi-ing successfully exited the government office. However, the government office soon became noisy. It was likely that something had happened. Chapter 4582. Are you sure this is the ancestral monster temple? What should we do? Where are we going? The city gates are closed now. Qi Ying said anxiously. Hei Xinjiu blinked her eyes and said, Go to the ancestral monster temple. They will never think that we will hide there. When the wind blows over, we will disguise ourselves and leave the city. Qi Ying felt that Yun Chujio had gone crazy. And it was not light. The ancestral monster temple? Even if he thought with his heels, that place was heavily guarded. How could he sneak in? Hei Xinjiu saw Qi Ying's worry. She chuckled and said, When the willow tree spirit talked about something new, he once mentioned that the ancestral monster temple was extremely sacred in the hearts of the plant demons. They would only go in to clean and pay their respects on the prescribed days. There will definitely be no one in the middle of the night. Besides, the usual rules are 15th day of the Lunar New Year. Today is only the 7th day of the Lunar New Year. We can hide there for at least a few days. Hearing Hei Xinjiu's words, Qi Ying recalled that the willow tree spirit had mentioned that. He did not expect that this fellow was not telling stories out of boredom. He was just trying to get information. Although Hei Xinjiu was not familiar with the imperial city, according to what the willow tree spirit said, the ancestral monster temple was in the south of the government office. Therefore, the two of them sped toward the south. Qi Ying did not think that the palace looked like the ancestral monster temple, but seeing that Hei Xinjiu had already gone through the wall, he had no choice but to follow her in. Almost as soon as the two of them landed on the ground, the courtyard lit up. Hundreds of guards rushed out and surrounded the two of them. How dare they break into the imperial palace at night? Qi Ying looked at Hei Xinjiu speechlessly. Where was the ancestral demon temple? Why did it become the imperial palace? Hei Xinjiu was speechless. Was she the one to blame? Wasn't the imperial palace too shabby? Seeing that the two of them did not make a sound, the guards rushed forward and grabbed them. Qi Ying wanted to resist, but seeing that Hei Xinjiu signaled him with her eyes, he had no choice but to give up. The reason why Hei Xinjiu gave up resisting was because the outside world was filled with officers and soldiers who had captured them. If they went out, they would also be captured. It was better to meet the emperor directly. At least, their lives would not be in danger. It was unknown if the emperor had already gone to bed too late. In any case, he did not interrogate Hei Xinjiu and Qi Ying and had them locked up in the heavenly prison. Buttface, who was hiding in Qi Ying's arms, was also discovered and thrown into the heavenly prison together. Qi Ying felt as if he was cursing a dog in his heart. Well, they struggled for a long time, and finally, they were thrown into the heavenly prison from the prison of a government office. They were really idle. However, Buttface said eagerly, Little fairy, I know. You must have done it on purpose. Are you going to play dirty tricks again? Hei Xinjiu glared at him fiercely. She felt that her luck had been a little bad recently. How could she be so unlucky? This fellow had a big heart. After feeling stifled for a while, he lay on the pile of grass and fell asleep. Qi Ying looked at Hei Xinjiu, who was sleeping soundly. He was so angry that he gritted his teeth. How could she fall asleep? He looked at Buttface, who was sprawled on the ground, and felt even more stifled. He simply closed his eyes and fell asleep. Early the next morning, Hei Xinjiu and the other two were escorted out of the heavenly prison by a group of guards. Qi Ying's heart was in a mess. Would he be directly interrogated and beheaded? Although he felt that it was a little troublesome to be by the side of this smelly girl, he still did not want to die. Chapter 4583, State Preceptor. Just as Qi Ying was feeling miserable, he heard Buttface shamelessly say, My legs are too short to keep up with you. Hug me, Qi Ying. A crafty look flashed across Buttface's eyes. Little Fairy had already said that Qi Ying was a spy. Even if he were to torture him, the Little Fairy would not speak up for him. Qi Ying did not expect that they would be directly escorted to the throne room. Emperor Wen Yuan sat on the dragon throne, and on both sides stood the civil and military officials. At this moment, everyone's eyes fell on Hei Xinjiu and the other two. Hei Xinjiu's heart skipped a beat. Now, she had to think of a way to stall for time. No matter what, as long as they could prove their identities, Emperor Wen Yuan would not kill them easily. Therefore, the guy bowed in a neither servile nor overbearing manner and said, Your Majesty Wen Yuan, The three of us are here on a mission sent by His Majesty Jing Shun of the northern region. However, we accidentally lost the national letter on the way. If Your Majesty does not believe us, you can verify our identities with His Majesty Jing Shun of the northern region. Emperor Wen Yuan sized up Yun Chujiu and then looked at the civil and military officials. My dear ministers, how do you think this matter should be decided? Your Majesty, if it was an envoy, the northern region should have submitted a letter to our country in advance. How could they have infiltrated our southern region? Therefore, these three beasts should be treated as spies. Your Majesty, I have heard of these three beasts. They were all puppets before, but they broke away from the host. Their host is indeed the Emperor and Empress of the northern region. Your Majesty, since they do not have the national letter, they are spies who have infiltrated the southern region. Why don't we use them as hostages to negotiate with the northern region? Emperor Wen Yuan nodded. He was about to imprison He Xinjiu and the others according to their suggestion and then negotiate with Emperor Jing Shun. However, he did not expect a guard to suddenly come in and report, Your Majesty, the imperial tutor requests to see you. Emperor Wen Yuan was stunned. The national advisor never attended court. Why was he here today? Emperor Wen Yuan hurriedly said, Please come in, national advisor. Judging from Emperor Wen Yuan's pleas, the national advisor seemed to have a high status. Soon, an old man walked in. The old man just nodded at Emperor Wen Yuan and bowed. Emperor Wen Yuan didn't seem to mind at all. He smiled and said, Imperial Preceptor, why are you free today? Your Majesty, last night, I observed the celestial phenomenon and discovered an ominous object. This morning, I learned that a pig demon had entered our southern region, so I rushed over. The Imperial Preceptor's expression was solemn. Emperor Wen Yuan frowned. Ominous object? You mean the three of them? I was planning to lock them up and negotiate with the northern region. According to Imperial Preceptor, how should we deal with them? The National Master said solemnly, As far as I know, the three puppets escaped from their hosts using secret techniques. Such heinous behavior is only allowed in the wild places like the northern regions. Therefore, in order to prevent the demon ancestor from getting angry, the three of them should be trapped in the evil warding formation and killed with the help of the wooden fish left by the demon ancestor. He Xinjiu was so angry that her nose was almost crooked. This damned old man, he was the ominous thing. His entire family was the ominous thing. And it was too vicious. There was the evil warding formation and the wooden fish left behind by the demon ancestor. He was afraid that they would not die. Chapter 4584. She was so unlucky. Emperor Wen Yuan hesitated after hearing the words of the National Master. National Master, we can't even send them back to the northern region? Emperor Wen Yuan had planned to kill He Xinjiu and the others in exchange for a great deal of benefits. To be honest, he felt that it was a pity. He Xinjiu also said hurriedly, That's right, that's right. His Majesty Jing Shun and the Empress like us very much. They will agree to whatever conditions you propose. The imperial tutor snorted coldly, Your Majesty, since this pig demon is an ominous creature, it will cause a storm even if it is released back to the northern region. Only by killing it can we eliminate the future trouble. The imperial tutor clearly had a lot of prestige in the southern region. Very soon, some of the ministers agreed with him. They all said that He Xinjiu and the other two were pests and they had to die. He Xinjiu was furious. Fuck, a bunch of goblins still said that she was a pest? Shameless. The hand under this guy's sleeve had touched the demon heaven bell. He wished that he could crush it into powder. If not for this broken bell, how would she have ended up in this state? Emperor Wen Yuan pondered for a moment and said, All right, as the imperial tutor said, immediately bring these three beasts to the demon ancestor temple for execution. Qiying was about to cry. If he had known earlier, he would have been better off being Hu Jiaojiu's puppet. Although he had been tormented, he could at least keep his life. But now, he was going to be killed as an ominous object. Buttface was still calm and composed. This fellow had a mysterious confidence in He Xinjiu. Anyway, he felt that as long as he followed the little fairy, he would not die. He Xinjiu was using her soul consciousness to pray to her ancestors. To be more precise, she was praying to the three foodies in her dantian. Unfortunately, this fellow promised a bunch of benefits. Only Guai Chao was acting cute in front of her. The other two were as if they were dead. The demon ancestor temple was right next to the imperial palace. Hei Xinjiu felt as if she was cursing a dog in her heart. How unlucky was she? She was so close to the imperial palace, yet she had sneaked into it. She didn't know if the plant demons had a special way of spreading gossip, but when Hei Xinjiu and the other two arrived at the ancestral monster temple, many plant demons had already gathered to watch the show. The ancestral monster temple was bigger than the imperial palace, and it had a large square. Even if there were many people gathered, the place was spacious enough. Hei Xinjiu looked at the main hall of the ancestral monster temple curiously. She thought that she should be able to see the statue of the ancestral monster, but she didn't expect that there was only a huge, wooden fish in the middle. Hei Xinjiu cursed in her heart. What the ancestral monster left behind was either a bell or a wooden fish. Could it be that the ancestral monster was a monk or a nun? Otherwise, why did all the things left behind have something to do with the temple? Just as the fellow was thinking, Buttface said with his divine sense, "Little fairy, you really have a plan in mind. Otherwise, you wouldn't have the time to think about such nonsense at this time." Ever since Buttface and Yunchujio had separated from the host, the two of them had regained their divine sense connection. However, Qing did not know about it. Buttface, this scheming dog, usually communicated with Yunchujio using words. He did not give himself away at all. When Hei Xinjiu heard Buttface's words, the corner of her eyes twitched violently. She was not confident at all. However, she suddenly had a flash of inspiration. That bastard Yao Tianzhong had brought them to the southern region. Could it be because of this wooden fish? Perhaps she could use Yao Tianzhong as bait to lure this wooden fish over. When the time came, she would anger these plant demons to death. Especially that old scholar tree spirit. Chapter 4585. She was a psychopath. While Hei Xinjiu was pondering, the national master ordered his men to bring Hei Xinjiu and the other two to the wooden fish and set up the evil warding formation. Qi Ying saw Yunchujio staring at the big wooden fish with shining eyes and cursed in his heart, "This money grubber." At this time, she wouldn't covet the wooden fish, would she? Soon, the evil warding formation was activated. As the evil warding formation was activated, countless black gales attacked Hei Xinjiu and the other two from all directions. At the same time, the huge wooden fish began to emit a strong pressure. Qi Ying had been fed with poison beforehand and lost all his demonic energy. He revealed a look of despair. He really couldn't survive this time. Hei Xinjiu took out 2 detoxifying pills from her storage ring while resisting the black gust of wind. These were the pills that she had snatched from the 2 jailers yesterday. Qi Ying then realized something. Yesterday, Yunchujio was not poisoned. Today, she was not poisoned either. How did she do it? He did not have time to think about this. He took the detoxifying pills that Hei Xinjiu handed him and swallowed them. Buttface also swallowed one. Qi Ying and Buttface's demonic power began to recover, helping Hei Xinjiu resist the black evil wind. Emperor Wen Yuan and the others were shocked when they saw that Hei Xinjiu and the other two had recovered their demonic power. Could it be that the pig demon was really an ominous thing as the imperial preceptor had said? Otherwise, how could they not be poisoned? Emperor Wen Yuan looked at the imperial preceptor with some apprehension. "Imperial preceptor, they have recovered their demonic power. They won't break out of the array, right?" The imperial preceptor sneered. "Your Majesty, don't worry. Let's not talk about this evil warding formation. Just the pressure of the wooden fish alone can suppress the 3 of them to death. In less than 15 minutes, they will die without a doubt." Emperor Wen Yuan nodded. It was true. The pressure of the wooden fish could not be endured by ordinary people. Moreover, the pressure of the evil warding formation would be even more intense. These 3 ominous creatures were doomed. However, Emperor Wen Yuan soon realized that it did not seem to be the case. The monkey demon's movements were getting slower and slower, but the pig demon and the dog demon did not seem to be affected by the pressure at all. They were extremely agile. Moreover, The pig demon seemed to be mumbling something. It was just that the formation was isolating the sound, so he could not hear what the pig demon was saying. The national master was also shocked. He frowned and said, "Your Majesty, even if they are not afraid of the pressure of the wooden fish, they cannot break the evil warding formation." Emperor Wen Yuan nodded and continued to look at the array. At this moment, Qi Ying's head was covered in sweat, and his chest felt uncomfortable. He felt bad when he saw He Xinjiu and Buttface moving freely. Yun Chujiu was a pervert that could be ignored. After all, she was the reincarnation of the ghost ancestor. However, why was Buttface, a stupid dog, not afraid of pressure? He was even worse than a dog. Was there any room for reasoning? When he heard that He Xinjiu was starting to mumble, he staggered and almost fainted. "Little wooden fish, look at what's on my wrist. This is your old lover. He broke through all the difficulties and finally came to your side. Aren't you touched?" Little wooden fish, Little Bell came with overwhelming sincerity. "You won't keep him away for 1,000 miles, right?" Qi Ying finally came to a conclusion. This stinky girl was a psychopath. What she did was something that normal people couldn't do. Chapter 4586. It was easy to invite a god, but difficult to send a god. He Xinjiu kept mumbling for a long time, but there was no change to the wooden fish, and there was no change to the demon sky clock on her wrist. This guy frowned. Was she wrong? Wasn't the demon sky clock targeting this wooden fish? She sorted out the things related to the demon sky clock and suddenly had a thought. Fuck, could it be that the demon sky clock and wooden fish wanted to kill her first and then reunite? The fellow gritted his teeth and did not care if he was a pig demon now. He immediately bit his index finger and dripped it on the demon sky bell. Even in his dreams, the demon sky bell did not expect Yun Chujiu to use this move. However, he felt that it was not an ordinary item. Even if it was dripped with blood, it would not be contracted. This wretched girl had made a wrong calculation. However, in the next moment, an arrogant voice came from the spiritual sense of the demon sky bell. "You lousy bell. Hurry up and hook up with Muyu, or I will feed you to the dogs." The demon sky bell immediately felt that the entire bell was in trouble. It was about to forcefully cut off the spiritual sense connection with Yun Chujiu, but it was suddenly stunned. The body of the bell trembled violently and made a whimpering sound. "Hey Xinjiu! Damn it, this lousy bell despised her so much? Was it going crazy?" Just as He Xinjiu was complaining, the light on the wooden fish intensified, and the array disk of the evil warding formation shattered with a bang. The Imperial Preceptor, Emperor Wen Yuan, and the others were dumbstruck. What was going on? The evil warding formation could be said to be the strongest formation in the demon region. How could the three beast demons break the formation in such a short time? When everyone was shocked, they saw the pig demon approach the wooden fish and drip the blood on its index finger. The wooden fish flashed with light again. It had recognized its master? How was this possible? This was a treasure left behind by the demon ancestor. How could it recognize a pig demon as its master? Moreover, this pig demon was an ominous item. He Xinjiu saw that the wooden fish had been contracted by her and immediately felt that the sky had turned blue and the clouds had turned white. Even the old locust tree spirit was pleasing to her eyes. The guy straightened his back and said arrogantly, "Locust tree spirit, let me ask you. You said that I was an ominous object? Then why did the treasure left behind by the demon ancestor acknowledge me? I am clearly the messenger of the demon ancestor. I had summoned the heavenly thunder in the northern region before. How dare you, a locust tree spirit who does not know anything, slander me?" What? It was the first time that the national master was called a locust tree spirit. He was so angry that his beard was raised. Shaking his hands, he said, The weather last night was clearly a sign of great danger. You must have used some unorthodox method to contract the wooden fish." TSK, unorthodox method? According to what you said, could the demon ancestor's treasure not even withstand the unorthodox method? Your Majesty Wen Yuan, this locust tree spirit is clearly slandering me. You have to give me an explanation today, or I will order the wooden fish to start a massacre. Hei Shinjio crossed her shoulders and said smugly. Emperor Wenyuan's forehead was full of cold sweat. He was so regretful that his intestines were turning green. It was all thanks to the state preceptor's blind advice. If he had known earlier, he would have used these 3 beast demons to negotiate with Emperor Jingshun. Now, he was being too passive. This pig demon had the wooden fish in her hands. It was as difficult as ascending to the heavens to kill her. Hei Shinjio crossed her arms and said while shaking her feet, "Haven't you heard that it's easier to invite a god than to send a god? We've suffered such a great grievance, and you're just going to send us away? Do you think that we can come and go as we please?" Chapter 4587. Acting rich. Emperor Wenyuan almost spat out a mouthful of blood. This pig demon was clearly a scoundrel. No wonder the Empress of the northern region voluntarily gave her freedom. It was most likely because she couldn't stand this scoundrel, right? Then what does Miss Zhu want to do? Emperor Wenyuan gritted his teeth and asked. First, let this old locust tree spirit apologize to us. Say that he was blind and saw wrongly. We are clearly the demon ancestors' emissaries. Second, give us 1 billion high-grade demon spirit stones and 100 heaven-grade herbs. Third, let us roam the southern mountain range freely. No one is allowed to stop us. Fourth, prepare 100 baskets of fresh fruits, 100 roasted ducks, and 100 roasted suckling pigs. Qiying, you can understand the first 3, but you have the nerve to say the 4th? Also, are you sure that you, a pig demon, want to eat roasted suckling pigs? Emperor Wenyuan was so angry that his head was buzzing. This pig demon was too insatiable. 1 billion high-grade demon spirit stones and 100 heaven-grade herbs? This was equivalent to half of his national treasury. However, he did not dare to force it. After all, the wooden fish behind Yunchujio casually released some pressure, and no one here could withstand it. Just as Emperor Wenyuan was about to agree, he saw a flash of light. The wooden fish, which was about 3 people tall, disappeared. A red rope appeared on Yun Chujia's left wrist, and a small wooden fish was tied to it. A weak voice came from Hei Xinjia's spiritual sense. Master, my demonic power has been exhausted. There was a sentence that she didn't know whether to say or not. It was so infuriating. Would she die if she could hold on for a little longer? Besides, why didn't she tell her earlier? How was he going to end up like this? Just as he was about to cover it up, the imperial tutor suddenly realized something and said, "Your Majesty, this pig demon must have used some evil method to subdue the wooden fish. The wooden fish is a treasure left behind by the demon ancestor. How could it be manipulated by her? That's why it became smaller. Also, I saw the demon heaven bell on her right wrist. As long as we take down this pig demon, the 2 treasures of the demon ancestor will belong to our southern region." Emperor Wenyuan was delighted. He was as excited as he was just now. He did not expect that he would get a blessing in disguise. Hei Shinjio sneered, "Nonsense. Let's see who dares to go forward. Let Muyu kill all of you." Emperor Wenyuan hesitated when he heard that. However, the Grand Tutor flashed and attacked Hei Shinjio. Hei Shinjio quickly dodged. The Grand Tutor returned to his original position after one attack. "Your Majesty, did you see that? She is just bluffing. Give the order." As long as we capture these 3 beast demons, the 2 treasures will belong to you. Emperor Wenyuan immediately waved his hand. "Go. Take them down. If they resist, kill them without mercy." Qi Ying's heart was filled with rage. He wished that he could strangle Hei Shinjio to death. If she had not been bluffing just now, they would have already left this place. How would they be in danger again? Hei Shinjio also regretted it, but what was the use of regret? At this moment, a guard came over and reported, "Your Majesty, the holy son of the celestial ginseng tribe has arrived." Emperor Wenyuan's expression changed. "Imperial advisor, the immortal ginseng tribe has never meddled in the matters of the southern and northern regions. Why are they here all of a sudden?" Imperial advisor's expression also changed drastically. In the demon region, The immortal ginseng tribe formed their own faction and disdained to meddle in the matters of the southern and northern regions. However, regardless of whether it was the southern or northern regions, neither side dared to offend the immortal ginseng tribe because the immortal ginseng tribe's strength far exceeded theirs. Chapter 4588 The Celestial Ginseng Tribe's Holy Son compared to Emperor Wenyuan and the Imperial Preceptor. He Xingjiu felt that this Celestial Ginseng Tribe's Holy Son had come at the right time. This Celestial Ginseng Tribe's Holy Son had come at the right time. As long as there were variables, there would be life. She would act according to the situation later and might be able to escape. At this moment, a wave of exclamations came from the crowd. Then, the crowd automatically opened up a path. Needless to say, it was extravagant. However, He Xingjiu did not pay attention to that. Her eyes were wide open. Then, she took out a black cloth and covered her face, only revealing a pair of eyes that were rolling around. Qi Ying also had a shocked expression. The Holy Son of the Immortal Ginseng Tribe was actually de-beaming? How was this possible? He should be a puppet just like them. How did he become the Holy Son of the Immortal Ginseng Tribe? Qi Ying was shocked and he saw Yun Chujia's actions. He was delighted. No matter how de-beaming became the saint child of the Immortal Ginseng Tribe, he would definitely despise this brat when he saw her become a pig demon. Even if the two of them did not turn against each other, there would still be animosity between them. If he were to sow discord in the future, this brat might help the Divine Devil Hall to deal with de-beaming. The more Qi Ying thought about it, the more excited he became. He even felt that the recent suffering was worth it. Emperor Wenyuan was really a little apprehensive. Why did this sage child of the Immortal Ginseng Tribe come directly without even greeting him? Could it be that some ignorant plant demon had offended the Immortal Ginseng Tribe? Could it be that the sage child of the Immortal Ginseng Tribe came to denounce them? But since they were already here, he could only brace himself and go forward. Emperor Wenyuan squeezed out a smile and greeted him. I didn't know that the Holy Son had arrived. Please forgive me for not welcoming you. The Holy Son nodded lightly. I came uninvited. Sorry for disturbing you. What are you talking about, Holy Son? The arrival of the Holy Son has graced our southern region. Holy Son, this is not a place for us to talk. Why don't we enter the palace? Emperor Wenyuan said. The Holy Son glanced at He Xingjiu and the other two, and then said, the elders of our clan have deduced that there is an envoy of the demon ancestor in the demon ancestor temple. I think it must be those three. Emperor Wenyuan was stunned, and then he glared at the national master. In his opinion, the elders of the Celestial Ginseng Tribe were naturally much better than the national master. It turned out that these three beast demons were really the envoys of the demon ancestor. This was bad. The Imperial Preceptor was also trembling. He was originally full of confidence, but when he heard the words of the Holy Son, his confidence instantly vanished. The reason why the Immortal Ginseng Tribe was able to surpass the plant demons and beast demons was because even in the most ordinary secular world, the ginseng had cultivated into a spirit. As for what secret it was, no one knew. Therefore, since the Immortal Ginseng Tribe elder said that the three beast demons were the demon ancestors' emissaries, then they must be the demon ancestors' emissaries. Emperor Wenyuan said with some trepidation, Holy Son, we really don't know. If we know that they are the demon ancestors' emissaries, even if we were given 100 guts, we wouldn't dare to offend them. After saying that, Emperor Wenyuan hurriedly said to the Imperial Preceptor, Imperial Preceptor, quickly invite the three envoys over. The Imperial Preceptor was furious. The three beast demons hated him the most. Let him invite them. Wasn't this sending himself to be tortured? Especially that pig demon, he had a belly full of evil water. He might not be able to deal with him. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.